If you're a man over 50 and you've been drinking your 8 glasses of water a day, doing everything you were told to do, and you still feel like your energy, your drive, your sharpness has been quietly slipping away, I need you to hear this, because what I'm about to tell you might completely change how you think about your morning glass of water. You've been drinking water your whole life thinking it's enough. And in one sense, water is essential. Never stop drinking it. But here's what almost nobody explains to men over 50. Plain water alone cannot rebuild something your body has been quietly losing for years. And once you understand what that something is, you're going to look at your kitchen tap completely differently. I'm not here to sell you a miracle pill or some overpriced supplements tack. What I'm going to walk you through today is something your body already knows how to do. It just needs the right raw materials to do it. No prescription, no gimmick, just biology most men were never taught. Before we go further, let me ask you honestly in the comments, have you noticed your energy dropping off in the afternoon over the last few years? Not exhausted, just flatter than you used to feel? I want to know because I think a lot more men experience this than ever talk about it. My name is Dr. Adrian Cole. I'm not a doctor and I'm not going to pretend to be one. What I am is someone who got frustrated hearing the same story over and over from men in my life, fathers, uncles, friends, all saying some version of, I don't know what happened to my energy. So I went looking for real answers, dug into the actual research, and what I found surprised me. It wasn't complicated. It wasn't expensive. It was sitting quietly in the produce aisle the whole time, and almost nobody talks about it clearly. Here's the short version of what's coming in this video. There's a molecule in your body responsible for keeping your blood vessels open and your circulation flowing, and after 50, your body makes drastically less of it. I'll explain exactly what it is, why it matters more than almost anything else for how you feel day to day. And then I'll walk you through the specific natural additions that help your body rebuild it, starting with your very next glass of water. Stick with me through this whole video, because by the end, you'll understand not just what to add to your water, but why plain water was never going to be enough on its own, and you'll have a simple, honest plan you can start tomorrow morning. Let's get into exactly what's happening inside your body after 50 and why it's costing you more than you realize. Let's talk about what's actually going on inside your body, because once you see it clearly, a lot of things about how you've been feeling will start to make sense. There's a molecule called nitric oxide, and its job is simple but critical. It tells your blood vessels to relax and open up. When nitric oxide levels are healthy, blood flows easily. Your heart doesn't have to work as hard, and your brain, muscles, and organs all get the oxygen and nutrients they need to perform properly. That's what it feels like to wake up sharp, move through your day with steady energy, and recover quickly after physical effort. Here's the part almost nobody tells men over 50. Starting around age 40 and accelerating sharply after 50, your body's natural nitric oxide production begins a real, measurable decline. By the time a lot of men reach their 60s, that production can be less than half of what it was in their 30s. Half and most. Men have absolutely no idea this is happening, because nobody ever connects the dots for them. So what does that actually feel like day to day? Your blood vessels gradually get stiffer and narrower. Your heart has to work harder just to push blood through a system that's no longer cooperating the way it used to. Your muscles get less oxygen during activity, so you fatigue faster and recover slower. Your brain gets less blood flow, so your focus drifts, your memory feels less sharp, and that mental edge you used to take for granted feels dulled. And here's the part that's honestly a little frustrating. Most men just accept this. They chalk it up to getting older, push through the afternoon slump with another coffee, and never once ask why. It becomes the quiet background noise of being over 50, the assumption that this is simply how it's supposed to feel now. But here's the thing. This isn't just vague aging. It's a specific, identifiable shift in your biology, tied to one measurable deficiency. And that means it's something you can actually do something about, not by fighting your age, but by giving your body what it's actually missing. Now here's where plain water comes in and why it falls short. Water hydrates you, that part is completely true and completely necessary. But water on its own gives your body zero of the raw materials it needs to rebuild nitric oxide production. Picture your body like a factory. Water keeps the lights on and the machines running. But if the right ingredients never arrive at the loading dock, the production line for nitric oxide just sits idle. Everything looks fine on the surface. Nothing is actually being made underneath. That gap between staying hydrated and actually rebuilding your circulation is exactly where most men over 50 get stuck without realizing it. I want to ask you honestly in the comments before this video, had you ever heard of nitric oxide or connected it to how tired or foggy you've been feeling? I'm genuinely curious how many of you are hearing this for the first time, because I think this is one of the most under-talked about pieces of men's health after 50. In the next part, I want to talk about why this matters more than most men realize, and then we'll get into exactly what to do about it. Here's what really gets me about this whole situation, and it's the reason I wanted to make this video. Think about what a slow nitric oxide decline actually costs a man over years, not just physically, but in the quality of his day-to-day life. It's not one dramatic moment, Nobody wakes up one day and suddenly feels old. It's slower than that, and honestly, sneakier than that. It's the afternoon energy crash that shows up a little earlier every year. It's motivation that quietly fades not because you don't want to do things, but because your body genuinely has less to give by 2 p.m. It's that subtle erosion of confidence that comes from feeling like you're not quite as sharp, not quite as capable, not quite as on as you used to be, even though on paper you're eating reasonably, sleeping enough, and trying your best. And here's what really bothers me. Most men never trace any of this back to its actual cause. They just live with it. They accept the fog, the fatigue, the slower recovery, because everyone around them says the same thing. That's just what happens when you get older. So they stop questioning it. They stop looking for an answer, because they've been told there isn't one. But there is one, and it's not hiding behind a prescription or a specialist's office. It's not expensive, and it's not complicated. It's sitting in the produce section of your regular grocery store, completely legal, completely natural, and backed by real research. Most men just never hear about it in a way that actually makes sense. I think part of the reason this doesn't get talked about enough is that it's not flashy. There's no dramatic transformation photo, no miracle claim, just a quiet, steady biological process that responds to the right raw materials. And because there's no dramatic marketing behind it, it slips past most men completely. So let me ask you honestly in the comments if a few specific natural additions to your morning water could measurably support your circulation and energy. Is that something you'd actually commit to trying consistently? I want to know, because consistency is really the only variable that matters here, and I think a lot of men underestimate how simple this could actually be. Because here's the truth. You don't have to accept the afternoon crash, the fog, or the slow decline as just part of being over 50. Your body still knows exactly how to rebuild this. It just needs the right ingredients showing up consistently, starting with something as simple as what's in your glass each morning. So let's get into exactly what those ingredients are and how to use them. All right, here's exactly what to add to your water, starting tomorrow morning. Every single one of these is natural, available at a regular grocery store, and backed by real research on circulation and nitric oxide support. Beetroot powder. This is the foundation. Beetroot is naturally rich in dietary nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide through a direct pathway, one that doesn't rely as heavily on aging cells the way some other processes do. Mix 1 to 2 teaspoons into a large glass of water first thing in the morning. It has an earthy taste. A squeeze of lemon brightens it up nicely. Pomegranate. Nitric oxide breaks down quickly, especially in a body dealing with everyday inflammation or oxidative stress. Pomegranate is loaded with polyphenols that act almost like a protective shield, helping nitric oxide stay active in your bloodstream longer. Add 1 teaspoon of pomegranate powder alongside your beetroot. L-citrulline. This is a natural amino acid found in watermelon that your body converts into another compound your cells use directly to produce nitric oxide. It's absorbed more efficiently than taking arginine directly. Add half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon to your morning glass. It's mild and nearly tasteless. That's your core 3. Mix them into 1 large glass of water within 30 minutes of waking up. Add a squeeze of lemon, stir, and drink. If you want to make it easier, mix a larger dry batch of all 3 powders in a jar, and each morning just scoop 2 to 3 tablespoons into your water. 10 seconds, done. Now, I want to be honest with you about the timeline, because that matters to me more than making big promises. Your body didn't get here overnight, and it won't rebuild overnight either. But the nitric oxide pathway responds fairly quickly to the right raw materials. Many men notice steadier energy within the first week or two of doing this consistently, particularly in that afternoon window where the crash usually hits. This isn't about chasing the energy you had at 25. It's about giving your body, at the stage of life you're actually in, what it genuinely needs to function the way it's capable of functioning. I want you to try this for the next 7 days. Same 3 ingredients, same glass of water, every morning, and then come back and tell me honestly in the comments, did you notice a difference? Which addition are you starting with tomorrow, the beetroot, the pomegranate, or the L-citrulline? I read every single comment, and I genuinely want to know how this lands for you. If someone in your life has been saying they just feel off lately or more tired than they used to be, send this to them. This might be the exact piece of information they've never come across. If this video gave you something useful, hit that like button and subscribe, because next week I'm covering a second, equally overlooked habit that quietly affects circulation for men over 50. Take care of yourself. Try it tomorrow morning. I'll see you in the next one.